Alright guys, so welcome to the second project of this course. So in this video we are going to be building this second project by just using HTML and CSS, no JavaScript, no nothing. So this is how it looks like, and now let's get into it. Alright guys, so if you want to follow along with this video, first of all you will find a link in the description below which will bring you to my GitHub repository, and in my GitHub repository you will find this images.txt file. These are nothing more but all of the images which you are going to be using in this project. So let's just get into it. First of all, we have to create a file, give a name of like index.html. Now let's just create another file, give a name of like style.css, and now let's just write our doctype HTML in it. So what do we have to do? I'm going to just give a name of like the art, and I'm going to also link it with my CSS file. Okay, so I'm going to hide this head area from there, right click on it and open it with a live server. So it will now open our file with a live server right here. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a bit. So first of all, we are going to be starting from our navbar. So what do we have to do? First of all, we just have to write our nav with a class of wrapper container. Okay, so we are going to be doing that. So inside this wrapper, you know what, we are going to be changing that to like some sort of a section, I guess. So I'm going to change that to a section, and inside this section we are going to start working on our navigation. So we are going to be writing our nav opening tag and closing tag. Inside this nav we are going to be writing our ul, then li, and then our anchor tag, and it will go to nowhere, and here we are going to be placing our logo right there. And underneath this ul right here we are going to be writing our burger menu right here. Okay, so we are going to be writing our span, and we need 3 of them. So if we save our file, so this is how currently things looks like, and we don't have that burger. That's because we don't have any content for that. Anyway, so now let's jump into our style sheet, and now let's just start a bit of styling for our project. So first of all, we are going to be writing our resets for our project. So what do we have to do? We have to select everything and remove the margin, not a max resolution, but now let's just select our margin, and it will be 0, and padding will be also 0, not pad but just padding will be also 0, and box sizing I'm going to set that to like a border box. So if you save that, everything is working the way we expect them to work. Alright, so what else do we have to do? We have to go to our fonts.google.com site, and here we have to grab a few fonts. The first font we are going to be getting is something called Open Sans. So I'm going to just search for Open Sans. So let's just click on this one and get the font weight of that is like 300 pixel font weight. Alright, so I'm going to just select this first one. Yeah, I'm going to just select this first one, not italic version, but just a regular version. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on this import right here, and I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to paste it at the top of the file right here. And I'm going to also copy the font family of that. So I'm going to copy it real quick, and I'm going to paste it right here, and I'm going to comment it real quick. Alright, so that's just kind of a basic setup. So now let's just start working on our body. So we are going to be first of all writing a color for our body. Let's just write a BG and C for a background color, and we are going to be started working on a EBEAE9. Okay, so this is kind of the color which we are going to be using for our body. And now let's just provide a margin. Or yeah, I'm gonna go with a margin real quick. So I'm gonna just provide a margin. Let me just write a margin of 1 rem right here. So if we save our file, so this is how currently things looks like for now. So now let's just start working on our HTML. So I'm gonna just select the HTML, and I'm gonna uncomment this line, and I'm gonna copy that. And here, what do we have to do? I'm gonna just write like a font family of that. So if we save our file, and this is how it looks like for now. Anyways, so now let's get into our navigation. So I'm going to just write like a nav start. Okay, start. And now inside there, we are going to be selecting our navigation. First of all, let's just write a display of flex on it. Justified content will be set to space around, not around, but between, because we want a little bit of spacing. So align items will be now set to center, and color will be set to totally white. And also padding, I'm going to give like 20 pixel all around, and margin bottom will be just 5 frames. So if you save that, and this is how currently it looks like right now, and here you can also see that bullet point. Anyway, so if you want to remove them, and we want to provide all of our styling, so first of all, let's just select our ul inside this navigation. So we are going to be selecting that, and now let's just write a margin left of 5 frame, and list style will be now set to none. So if you save that, and this is how it looks like for now. Now let's just remove this ugly border bottom from it. So now let's just remove that real quick. So I'm going to just write like li and then anchor tag. So we are going to be writing a text decoration of none, so that we want to remove that decoration, and color will be set to totally black. And if you save that, and this is how currently it looks like. Anyways, so we are now totally done with that. Now let's just work on our burger menu. So I'm gonna just write a navigation and I'm gonna select my burger, which is this class right here. And here inside this burger, we have 3 spans right there. Anyways, so now we select that. Here we are going to be just writing a margin right of 5 frames, and cursor will be a pointer for all of the burgers, or the span to be precise. So we are going to be using navigation first of all, nav, then we have our burger, and now let's just select our span. And here we are going to be giving a little bit of height, like 400 not 400 but just a 4 pixel. And now let's just write border of 2 pixels solid and totally black. And now let's just give him a little bit of margin all around, like 4 pixel, and background will be totally black. So now if you save that, and I guess you cannot see that, I don't know what's going on. Alright, so we have our navigation, then we have burger, and now if you save that, yep, we are getting it, and this is also a burger. Yep, both of them are now currently working. Now the next thing which we are going to be doing is that we have to start working on our header area. So here I'm going to just write like a navigation n, and yep, save that. And here I'm going to also write a navigation n, nav end. Yep, that's cool. So for header, now let's just start working on our header area. So I'm going to just write like a header area in here, or hero area, whatever you want to call it. So here I'm going to just put like header opening and closing tag, and now let me just write a h1 with a class of main headings. Okay, so inside this h1 we are going to be writing first of all what, and then br, and then underneath this br we are going to be writing is car, and then art. Okay, question mark. Underneath this h1 we are going to be writing our paragraph with a class of primary headings. Okay, so inside that we are going to be writing art. This text which I'm writing is come from a Google, so you can also search there if you want to, or you can type it right here. Comma a span, and now I'm gonna give him a class of bg of gray. Okay, so visual object or experience, and yep, our span will end in here. And now let's just write concisely created through, not part but through, an expression of skill or imagination. Okay, so now if you save that, this is how it looks like. I know it's awful. Now what else do we have to do? Now let's just go towards styling, and now let's just style that a bit. So here what I'm going to do, I'm going to just write like a header start, and now let's just write our header, and I'm going to give him a little bit of, first of all let's just select it correctly. I'm going to give him a margin of 6 rem from all around, and now let's just select our main headings. Okay, so now we selected that. Width will be just a 50%. Font size, I'm going to just increase that to like 3 rem. And yeah, I'm going to also select my primary headings right now, and I'm going to give them a width of like 50% in here. Margin top, I'm going to give them like 3 rem, and font size will be just like 1.5 rem. And line height, I'm going to give him like 30 pixel, just a 30 pixel will be fine. So if you save that, and this is how currently things looks like. So if I want to make that bold, you know what, I'm going to also get some sort of a bold version of it. So I'm going to also click on that, and yep, now I'm going to copy this one, copy that, and go to the top, replace it with that other one. Now go to the bottom and change this one font weight to be like which one was that? Yeah, just select like 600. So I'm going to just write 600. So save our file, and this is how it looks like. So first of all, save it. Yep, this one is a little bit darker than this one, and this one is looking cool. Alright, so now let's just write there bg of gray, which is this span right here. So it will just change the background color to be like some sort of a grayish color. So I'm going to just give a background color of RGB. Let me just write it RGB of 53. Not 50 but just 53, and 53 and 53. Okay, so this is the background color which we are going to be using, and color will be now set to like totally white. And padding, I'm going to give it like 2 pixel for top and bottom, and 10 pixel for left and right. And I'm going to also change the font weight to be totally bold. So if you save that, and this is how it looks like right now, and you can play around with that if you want to, like so. I guess that would be fine. Yeah, or you know what, I'm gonna make it a bit subtle like so. Yeah, that's fine. You can play around with that if you want to, but there's kind of a call to action. So here I'm gonna just write like header n, and here I'm gonna also put a header n comment in here. So let's just write a header n, and now let's start working on our main area. So I'm gonna write a main start, and now let's just select our main area, and inside this main area we are going to be just placing our images. So I'm going to just write image, and now let's just select all of our images from here. Okay, so it's looking a bit clearer. I'm gonna go it manually, like I'm gonna just open my HTML and CSS, click on that, and I'm going to select our images from here. Alright, so I'm going to select my first image, I'm going to place it right here, and we are going to be removing this alt attribute from there. And I'm going to also give the class of img. Or you know what? First, yeah, I guess that would be fine. I guess that would be fine. So let me just write img one more time with the class of img. Okay, so I'm going to remove this alternative text from there, and I'm going to duplicate that a few times, like so. And now I'm going to just replace it with these images. So I'm going to copy that, paste it, and copy that, and paste it right here. Let's just copy that other one. I guess this is one, the fourth one. And let's just paste it in here. And by the way, if you're wondering like where am I getting these images from, so I get all of these images from unsplash.com. I don't own these images, so if you want to get all of these images which I'm using for this project, so you should either go to my GitHub repository and download it manually, or you can just go to the description area, and you will also find their images out in there. And now here are my images. So these are the images which I'm going to be using for this project. So now let's just style that a bit. So I'm going to go to my style sheet real quick, and here I am going to write my main start. Okay, so I'm going to select my main, and now let's just write a margin 0 for top and bottom and 4rem for left and right. Display will be totally flex, and flex wrap will be now set to wrap. Justify content will be now set to center, and margin I'm going to give him a little bit of margin of 40 rem, not rem but pixels. So if you save that, and this is how currently things looks like. Clutter. So now let's just select that image. So I'm going to write main, and now let's just select that image. So img, and all of these images have this class of img right here. So now let's just select that and give him a width of like 40%. And I'm going to also provide a margin of 10 pixels. So if you save that, and yeah, that's looking better right now. Okay, so if you just make our screen size a bit smaller, it will still look good on a smaller screen size because we provide a width of 40 pixel, not 40 pixel, but 40%. And we will take care about these once we jump into the media queries section. So I'm going to make that a bit bigger. And now we are totally done with our main area. So we are going to be just writing our main end. So, and now let's just start working on our section 3, but section 3 will be a little bit long. Okay, so I'm going to just write a section with the class of section 3. Okay, so inside this section 3 we are going to be writing h1 with the class of main heading. So we are now reusing that class again. So 7 types of art. Okay, so now let's just write a paragraph with the class of primary headings. Okay, and here we have to write all of that gibberish. So you know, I'm gonna just fast forward. Alright, so now if you save our files, so here the text I write, and now I want you to notice this. So we are using that background gray class on this padding and this kind of description area right here. So I want you to just notice that real quick. And this is all of the text which you need for this project. So now here we are going to be rendering our list. So I'm going to just write a list right here. And inside this list we are going to be rendering different kind of items. So I'm going to just write item. Inside this item I'm going to just write h1 of painting. So painting. And now let's just write our image, and I'm going to grab this image which I have already right here. I'm going to copy that and paste it right here, and we are not going to be providing any alt and stuff. So I'm going to just duplicate this item real quick. So this one we have is our item 1, then we have our item 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now let's just change that real quick. I'm going to change this painting to this sculpture, and let's just sorry I can't pronounce that name, but I'm going to change it anyways. Copy it, and let's just paste this link. And yeah, I also have to change that one. So I'm going to change this heading from painting to literature. So literature. And let's just copy that third image right here. Copy it, and I'm going to paste it right here. And now let's just change this painting to architecture. So architecture, and I'm going to copy this image and I'm going to paste it right here. Let's just change this painting, and now let's just write a cinema in here. Let's just copy this image and I'm going to paste it right here. And let me just make sure that I didn't mess up something. So okay, so we have two other left, so I'm gonna copy that 2 times, so 1 and 2. So change this cinema and copy this text, not text, but copy this image URL, and I'm going to paste it right here. And then finally, let's just change this cinema to theater. And let's just copy this final image, and we are told it done. So say bye-bye to this one, save it, and I'm going to paste this image link right there. And so now if you save that, and here you can see we have all of these images and we have all of these titles right here. So now let's just get into our style sheet, and now let's just style that a bit. Alright, so I'm gonna write a comment for myself, and I'm going to just write like section 3 start. Alright, and now let's just select our section 3 right here, and now here I'm gonna just give a margin left to be like 5 frame, and also let's get it our section 3 and primary headings. Okay, so let me just write a margin of bottom of 10 rems in here, and now let's just select our list, which is that huge list which you have right here. Let me just see. Yeah, there we go. Select that list, write a display of flex wrap will be now set to wrap because we want all of our images to wrap, and justify contour will be centered, align items will be also centered. So if you save our file, and we can see some of the images, but a lot of images are really huge and we cannot see that once. So now let's just change its heights and stuff. Let me just get my section 3 and all of the images which you have inside that section 3. So I'm going to just give a width of like 400 pixel, and height will be just 500 pixel, and I'm going to also give a margin of 50 pixels. So if you save that, and yep, that's looking better. And you know what, these texts are looking a bit weird, so let's just take care of that. So what do we have to do? Let's just select our section 3. We got to select our item, and we want to select all of that H. So we have this item, then we have our heading, then we have another item and its heading, and so on and so forth. So now we selected that. Now let's just increase the font size to be like 2 rem, and I'm gonna give him a color of like RGB of that kind of 53 color. But you know what, I didn't like that. I'm gonna copy this from here. Let's just copy. Oh my goodness. Let's just copy it manually by using our keyboard. It will not allow me to use my mouse, so I'm going to just use my mouse in here, paste it, so it will now just change the color of that heading, and that's awesome. So we are also done with our section 3N. And did I just write a section? Yep, that's also section 7. If you make it smaller, and yeah, this is also responsive, but we can take care of that later if you want to. But it's already responsive, but you should have to take care of these headings and stuff. Anyways, so we are now totally done with section 3. Now let's just work on our footer area. So if you want to work with the footer area, first of all, and let me just write a comment for myself like section 3 ended, or section 3 and whatever you want to call it. Now let's just start working on our footer area, footer start. I'm going to just write like a footer opening and closing tag. Now let's just write a logo, oh my goodness, logo container inside that footer, and write h1 with the name of logo, and write a lorem, and just write lorem. Okay, so then outside from this div, what do we have to do? Let's just write our div with the class of about company. It's not our company, but you know what, we'll just go with that. So let's just create our container, and inside this container we are going to be writing h1 with about, then paragraph with I don't know, news and blog would be fine. Yeah, let's just create a new paragraph, the class of, not class but a features text, and then we have our about us. Okay, so we just have that section. Let's just duplicate that a few times. You know what? I'm going to duplicate that 3 times. And now let's just change these headings from it. So I'm going to write a company, select that, and write how we work. We work, question mark. And let's, okay, so I'll leave this feature. You know what? I'm going to change that to like capital, capital. And also, let's just remove that to security. And this one will be now support. And we have a FAQs like so, or you know, I'm going to remove that comma from there. And this is how it looks like. And now let's just write our support in here. And then let's just write contact us. So if we save our file, and this is how our footer will look like right now. Anyway, so now let's get into our styling, and now let's just style that a bit. I'm going to write a footer start, START. Yep, that's start. So let's just get our footer area right here. I'm going to give a margin top of like 10 rem, and display will be flex because we want everything to wrap up. So for that, we are going to be using a flex wrap of wrap. Justify content will be space around in this case, and I'm going to also provide align items to be center. Okay, so give a height of 100 VH. In this case, I'm going to bring that to the top. And now let's just write a color to be like totally white. And here we are going to be using a background color of like, I don't know, RGB of 144, then 1995, and 200 would be fine. Yep, and now let's just, we already gave him a height of, you know what? I'm going to change the height to be like, instead of 100, so I'm going to just change that to 50 VH. And this is how currently it looks like. And yes, something is wrong. Something is not working the way I expect it to work. But we will figure it out just in a second. Anyway, so this is the footer area. And now what else do we have to do? We have to start working on our footer logo. So let's just select our footer and then logo container. And we want to select our H1 from there. So let's just provide a font size of 4 rems. And font family will be that. Okay, so we didn't have any. So I'm going to use that font family real quick. I'm going to font that font family. And yep, this is that open sans font family. I'm gonna copy that, and I'm going to paste it right here, that open sans kind of a font. And now let's just use, or you know, we can also go with a sans serif if you want to. So I'm going to just write a margin bottom of 20 pixel, and this is going to be it for the logo. And now let's just select our footer logo, a logo container, and paragraph inside the logo container. We are going to be giving a max width of like 400 pixel, and font family will be now set to sans serif. Line height, I'm going to provide like 25 pixels. We have a logo container. Do we have a logo container? Yep, we do have a logo container right there. And yeah, this is looking better, but these are looking awful. Now I'm going to also change the direction of our flex box. So flex direction to be column. So if you set that to column, and yep, nothing will happen in this case. So you gotta do something about that. Alright, so now let's just select our footer, and then let's select our logo container. Not logo container, but just about company, which, oh my goodness, it is about company, which is this one right here. Okay, so let's just write a display on flex on there, and flex wrap will be now set to no wrap, not no wrap, but just wrap. Justify content will be now set to center. Align items will be now set to center as well. And I'm going to also select my footer area from there. And now let's just select our about company and select that container. Oh my goodness, container, like so. And provide a margin to the right, maybe 40 pixel, and margin to the top will be 20. Margin top of 20 pixels. So if we save that, and these are looking better, but we have a huge problem which we need to solve. Let's just style these, and then we will take care of that just in a second. Let's just select our about company and select our container. Let's select our heading, and I'm going to give a margin of bottom of 50 pixel would be fine. Let's just select our about company, and let's select our container and paragraph. And here I'm going to just write a font family of sans serif, and margin bottom will be 20 pixels. So if you save our file, and this is how it looks like, it's looking better. But you know what, we have a huge problem. Why it's not giving us that background color? I guess we forgot that in the first place. So we have everything we need. We have HTML, we have ULI burgers, we have everything, but something is not right. Okay, I just remembered that we forgot to include that closing tag of the div. So now let's just do that real quick. So if you save that, alright, so let's just see. We have our section wrapper, our wrapper container to be precise. And where did I close? Okay, so we have a section at the end. We don't have any divs. Let's just close this section right here. So if you save that right now, okay, so nothing is happening, and that's a huge pain. So I'm gonna zoom out a bit, a lot, so that I can see the coding. So what do we have? We have our section wrapper. We have a body, and then we have our section wrapper. Something is not right. I'm totally sure about that. Yep, we did close it right here. Yep, we did close it right there. So now let's just create that section. I'm gonna zoom in a bit for now. Section with the class of container wrapper. What was that? Let's just undo it. So now let's just create the section one more time. Or you know what, I'm not gonna create any section, so I'm gonna just write like a wrapper container. Okay, so I'm gonna close that from there, and I'm gonna paste this one right here underneath this footer. So I'm gonna paste it right here, and now it's looking better. But the thing still is that we didn't change the background color of it, so we have to change the background color to something else. And let's just select that wrapper container, which we forgot to include right here. So let's just select it. I'm gonna zoom in a bit. This wrapper container, copy it and paste it. Let's just change the background color of it to that background color which we just provided RGB of this one. So if you save that, and now it's looking a bit awful. We don't want that. You know what? This is awful. So I'm gonna cut that from there. And what should we do? I'm gonna paste it right here, and I'm gonna cut that color, and I'm gonna paste this one right here. Yep, that's looking better. So you can provide JavaScript for that if you want to, but I guess we are totally done with our project. But the next thing which you have to take care of is that what do we call it, a media queries and responsiveness. So now let's just take care of that. I'm gonna go to the bottom. Yeah, I'm gonna just write like project end, and now let's just write responsiveness. Yeah, zoom in a bit, not out. Okay, so media, let's just create media for that. We are going to be writing an max width width is over like 740. Let me just get my keyboard. 700 and what? 740 pixels. So what do we have to do? We have to select our header. We have to write a main headings. Select that, and we have to give a width of 100%. So if you save that, let's just make it smaller. So it will take 100% of its space. So okay, it's not working. Let's just write a border of 2 pixels, solid teal. Okay, so it's not taking its area right here, and it's taking 100% of its space. That's looking better. Alright, so now let's just select our header and select our primary headings. In this case, we are going to be also changing the width to be 100%, and the font size, I'm going to just change that to 1.5 rem. So if you save that, and yep, that's looking cool, and everything is totally responsive. But now let's just take care of this area as well. So for that, what do we have to do? I'm going to just duplicate. Oh, you know what? Let me just write it manually, then you might be complaining like you just duplicate your code. Let's just select word section 3 and main headings, and we are going to be writing our width of 100% in this case. And then let's select word section 3 of primary headings of width. Let's just get our 100% width, font size of 1.5 rem, and finally, let's just make these images a bit smaller. So I'm going to just select my section 3. Let's just get all of the images, and let's just write a margin of 0. So if you save that, and this is how our site looks like for now. It's looking totally responsive and awesome. And we are now totally done with our second project as well. So I guess that will be it for now, and I'll see you in the next project.